Let's have a conversation. Tell me what you think about the issues of the world. What kind of spice you wanna be? Tell me where you wanna travel. Do you believe in luxury? What's your hidden passion? What makes you so unique? Conversations with Nicole. Conversations with Nicole. Conversations with Nicole. Conversations with Nicole.
Greetings, I am Nicole Everett, and this is Conversations with Nicole here at the Union Bank in beautiful Tallahassee, Florida. Today's featured guests are Dominick Ard'is of the Domi Station, Dobby Flowers of the Tallahassee chapter of the Links Incorporated, Dot Ely of Cumulus Tallahassee, and Dr. Andrea Frau of Tallahassee Memorial Healthcare. So come on, let's get this conversation started. Today's featured guest is Dominick Ard'is, the Director of Incubation Programs and Operations at Domi Station. Welcome, Dominick.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
So you and I go back.
We do, we do.
And
we do.
I am so proud of you because you are just doing it. You really are.
That's what they like to say.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So tell me, Domi is a incubator for startups, entrepreneurs,
absolutely.
offering several services.
Yeah.
Tell me about some of the services and what you do there.
Yeah, for sure. So Lucas Lindsay, who is an amazing executive director, and Sabrina Torres, who's our community manager, and I play my role in really focusing on operations and incubation programs, that specific. So essentially I focus on facilitating and managing a lot of our startup teams and our member companies.
Okay.
That's everything from strategic planning with them, making sure that they're hitting their goals. And then, one of our key flagship programs is Get Started, which is a 6-month program, 3 months of in-classroom facilitation and 3 months of out of the classroom, hard on, dead on work, where we still do check-ins, we still understand what's going on in the business, but those first 3 months is them to really understand the business model, everything from their messaging, really understand the core competencies as far as financials, getting down to the nitty-gritty of their profit margins. You'll be surprised about how many people don't know how to calculate that. But really thinking about, the unknowns. And so my job and my role is to facilitate them through that process and really begin to kind of, illuminate what's already on the inside of them, which is the greatness.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you started in this position when?
August 1st. August 1st.
Wow,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
excellent, excellent.
Yeah. Transitioned out from a career in management consulting, so yeah.
And how's it been for you?
It's been good, it's been good. It was, it was pretty interesting. Domi went through a transition in May. So one of the founding members, Michael Wyden, transitioned out to really focus his activities on the board, really begin to build relationships for us in the Silicon Valley area in California.
Okay.
And so when a lot of the conversations were happening about me coming on board, I was very excited, one, because to come back to Tallahassee and really begin to provide a lot of, the experience and expertise that I was developing outside and bringing back for, our hometown and startups, guys that are just like me. I was just there 3, 4, 5 years ago. And to really come back and enjoy that and spend time with them and really see them flourish in their business, it's awesome.
Excellent.
It's awesome.
So how important is entrepreneurship here in the Tallahassee area?
Well, I think when you look at, the diversity and the mix of our economy, right? We're really known for government and education, healthcare as well, right? Capital Regional TMH, provide a lot of employment for, our city here in Tallahassee. And so what's interesting is that when you begin to diversify that economy, entrepreneurship plays in that lane, right? And the beautiful thing about entrepreneurship is it's as basic as taking an idea, wrapping systems and processes around it in order for it to be sustainable, right? And sustainability can be measured in a myriad of ways. One, can that business continue to go on and be self-sustaining by the selling of products and services? Okay. One, can that business begin to provide capital into the community, right? Meaning, are their employees spending money within Tallahassee? Are they making, very thin salaries, or are the salaries actually, above 60, 70K, right? And so when you think about the lifeline and the bloodline and the economics of its city, entrepreneurship really plays a strong role in really shaping the culture around keeping our talented, individuals here that come here and are educated at FAMU, Florida State, TCC, and making sure that we can keep them in the community. And furthermore, the young professionals and even the people who work for the state. We see more people kind of leaving out of their boroughs of state government to be able to build something good. I would say that it's up. For me, who actually started my journey in entrepreneurship 2011, 2012, and seeing that there weren't many resources available for people of color, people who weren't of color, just the whole gamut of our fabric of our community. We didn't have many resources available. So now when you have the Office of Economic Vitality that's getting involved, and you have Dominick Station that's came online.
And I see some other startups, some other incubators.
Absolutely, you have
coming online too.
Big Minority Chamber, Tallahassee Chamber of Commerce, Small Business Development Center. Everybody is playing their part. Jim Moran Institute. So a lot of people are playing their role. A lot of people are playing their part. And now it's just trying to coalesce all of our efforts together to ensure that the entrepreneur knows what journey he or she is supposed to go on.
Okay.
Yeah.
What role do the students here play in terms of either assisting Domi with its mission or getting them on board with exploring their entrepreneurial dreams or goals?
Yeah, so our mission at Domi is one, to educate and empower early stage entrepreneurs. It's that basic, right? And when you think about that, a lot of times when we think about entrepreneurs, we think about collegials, right? The beautiful thing is that in college is such a right time where you're doing probably the most reading you'll ever do in your life. Probably because you're forced to actually do that reading.
Right.
And you got to turn in for a grade, right? But there's so many ideas that pop off in the mind of an undergraduate student, a graduate student, where you want to begin to rapidly test what you're doing. And so, we have partnerships with FAMU and Florida State University that have really begun to really flood, our community and our culture in Tallahassee and specifically at Domi. And so it's great because when you compare an undergraduate or graduate student with a seasoned business professional or somebody who's not as seasoned, and to see the mix and the diversity of generations come together to really begin to wrap enterprises, it's amazing.
Right, and learning from one another, I'm
Absolutely,
sure.
That's the key thing.
It is.
That's the key thing.
Remaining teachable.
Indeed, indeed.
Good deal.
Yeah.
So what is your hope as you move forward in this position? What are your goals, aspirations?
So we have, I think our team, it's so funny, somebody coined this as the Domi Trinity because there's three of us.
Okay.
And so, we kind of focus our efforts in the hub, the members, and the community, right? And so, but we all coalesce and we all work together. And so we kind of created a collective vision for our incubation programs, where Get Started is pretty much our flagship program. We're talking about pre-incubation here. What we would love to do is actually begin to couple that pre-incubation program with a $5,000 seed, whether it's a grant or a microloan, for a lot of our entrepreneurs to go to the next level, right? From that, if we move from pre-incubation to incubation program, which probably looks at about a total of about a year, 6 months to a year. Seeding those companies with a grant or a microloan or some type of angel investment of $20,000, companies that have been vetted out at a high level, is going to be great as well. And then you have your acceleration programs. So you're talking about hopefully something that we can achieve in about 2 to 3 or 2 to 5 years. But for me, I would love for it to happen in 2 to 3. If you're talking about my hope. But it's really that plain and simple. I think the key thing is, and we can begin to, create jobs that pay over $70,000, I think we'll begin to change the dynamic of our thinking in the community. Right now, most of our jobs, the median salary in Tallahassee, I think is $54,000, $56,000. And so, which is a good salary. Now, when we make that salary, there's a lot of other things that we have to consider. Of course, transportation, you want to travel, you want to pay student loans back, you want to take care of your family. There's a lot of different things. So really with that level of income, most of your thinking is more inward, right? But when you can get to that place of making over 70K, you start thinking outward, right? How do I begin to help this person over here who's looking to start up? How can I actually make a small investment in that person to actually take it forward? How can I look at advancing my own investment portfolio? So I think, all in all, my hope, is really to see us create jobs that pay over $70,000.
Okay.
Because it's going to be the difference maker of somebody making a decision to go to Atlanta or go to Jacksonville or go to Orlando, right? And that's our hope.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing that hope
You're
with
welcome.
us, and hopefully that will come true.
I do hope so too. That's a big one.
That is all the conversation we have time for today. I appreciate your time.
No, I appreciate you. Definitely.
And
definitely.
maybe you'll come back and share more with us.
I think I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. All right.
Awesome.
Stay tuned for more conversations with Nicole. Today's education segment features Ms. Dobby Flowers, the co-chair of the Links 7th Annual Arts Festival. Welcome, Ms. Dobby.
Thank you so much. We're very glad to have this opportunity to be with you and to share with the community the many good things that the Links of Tallahassee is doing.
So tell us, what is the Links?
The Links is a group of international women of African descent.
Okay.
We are global. Tallahassee is the first chapter of the Links in Florida. So we're Florida's first.
Okay, I like
We're
that.
65 years old.
Wow.
So we have been doing and contributing to this community for quite a long time.
That is a while.
And we continue to do that. And we do programming through our what we call facets.
Okay.
And I'm co-chair along with Anita Favors Thompson of the Arts Facet.
Okay.
But many of you may know us through the Botillion, that's our civic event. We work with kids in the school through the STEM program. We have a ballet program. So we're really focused on children and families and developing and giving the community opportunity. We're not only focused on Leon County, but Gadsden as well.
Okay. So your focus is on the community. What value do you believe the Links adds to the community?
I think our value is that we represent the community in that we are a group of women who not only contribute through the Links, but through our occupations, through the memberships that we are a part of.
Other organizations
Yes,
that
other
you're affiliated with?
organizations, and that's a requirement in order to be a Link. You must have proven track record of giving to the community. So we're very proud of our contributions. We do many different projects throughout the year that are community service.
About how many members are in your
We
chapter?
have about 36 in our chapter, 8,500 worldwide.
Oh, wow.
Women. So it's a group of very, and we are all program focused. Nationally, we have to give at least 48 hours of community service.
Oh, wow.
So that is monitored nationally, and yes, you can be put out if you don't meet that amount.
Okay.
So we are committed to service and not just a friendship.
Okay.
But basically, we're a friendship group.
Okay, that's
Now,
great.
what we're trying to do, specifically with the Art Facet, we have committed, we looked around at the arts and looked to see where our local kids were least likely to show up, or least likely to have the opportunity within the arts. So we basically focus on the visual art.
Okay.
And we're doing it through an academy we call the Links Arts Academy. And we're very proud that we're in our 7th year of development, and it's growing. But so far, we will have our first student who will graduate from college next year.
That is great.
We're probably the only organization in town that will guarantee an economically disadvantaged child a 4-year scholarship to go to college to major in art.
That is tremendous.
Thank you so much for having me here, and I cherish the opportunity to come back and spread the word of how, through the arts, that hopefully we can help our children achieve.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay. Stay tuned for more conversations. Today's entertainment segment features my special guest, Ms. Dot Ely, the Vice President Market Manager of Cumulus Tallahassee. Welcome, Dot.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
So you've been in Tallahassee 8 years now. How's it
Yes.
been for you?
Well, with any industry that requires revenue, it's going to be a challenge. But overall, I love it here in Tallahassee, and we're moving forward with our stations here in Tallahassee, and we look forward to 2017.
Excellent. So you have 5 stations, all of which are great stations with great personalities.
Yes, yes.
What do you attribute the success of Cumulus Tallahassee to?
I contribute the success of Cumulus Tallahassee to the employees of Cumulus Tallahassee. And as you said, we have 5 radio stations. We have 96.1 Jams, we have Blazing 102.3, we have Gulf 104, Star 98.9, and Heaven 98.3. And with those 5 stations, that means that we cover all of the industry, not just a portion. Regardless of what your ethnicity is, regardless of the type of music that you like, we have it at Cumulus Tallahassee.
That's great. So I know radio has changed over the years.
Yes.
It's become more digitized, and with that technology, you're able to track, you know, demographics and things of that nature. What effects do that ability to track have on sales and programming, that sort of thing?
Okay, I think you're in the industry of just trying to recognize what demographic you're looking for. And it's so many. You can be looking at 18 plus, 25, 54. So it all depends on the demographic that you're looking for, that we can research and give you all the details on any demographic in this market, be it white, black, old, young. Any ethnicity, we would be able to handle that for you.
Okay, and that helps you better to target the sales for the stations, for advertisers?
Yes, yes. As a matter of fact, when we ask about a demographic, it's normally, can you tell me about green? That's all of the, the potential buyers are looking for. Not necessarily an individual, but who can come through my door and spend revenue with me.
Right, so the buying power.
Exactly.
Got it,
exactly.
got it.
Yes.
So I know Cumulus is involved in the community. How important is community involvement for Cumulus Tallahassee?
The way I see the community and our stations, there's no way you can stay in a market and not support the market itself. We are we're in the market dealing with from giving out turkeys, to giving out toys, to just being a part of some of the nonprofit organizations.
Okay. And what do you believe the overall value is that Cumulus brings to the Tallahassee community?
Oh my God. I think with our demographic that we bring a huge value into this market. It's not always about who's going to spend dollars with us. It's about us being in the community, helping the community to grow. You know, and that would go from, let's say, a nursing home to a daycare. So we are part of this community because we're looking forward to staying here a long time.
Okay, well, I hope you do as well. Music is a great part of my life, and radio is important, I think, to the community. It kind of touches on the pulse of the community. So
Yes.
I'm glad that Cumulus is here, and I thank you for your time today.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me.
Okay. Stay tuned for more conversations. Today's health segment features Dr. Andrea Fryle, originally from Florida. She is with the Tallahassee Memorial Healthcare, and she is the Chief Medical Officer. She likes to kind of downplay that a little bit, but that's a big deal. So welcome, Andrea.
Hi, thank you, Nicole.
Dr. Fryle.
Yes, thank you for having me today.
So tell me about this new position.
Well, I've actually been back here in Tallahassee since 2001. Went to undergrad here, and Since I became an OBGYN here, I worked with North Florida Women's Care for, this is my 17th year.
Oh, wow.
So I've been here a little while.
Okay.
And immediately got involved in leadership within the hospital. And so over the years, definitely had ties and loyalty to both. Certainly very proud to be able to represent the hospital as the Chief Medical Officer.
That is excellent. You know, we were talking about how Grey's Anatomy, which is one of my favorite shows, the chief who was on Grey's Anatomy, that's what she's doing now. So it's a pretty important position, and we are very proud of her.
Well, thanks, Nicole. But you know, I haven't watched that show in several seasons, so I'll take your word for it.
Take my word for it. So, Andrea, Dr. Pryor works as a GYN, so I want you to tell us a little bit about how women's health care has changed from when you started to now.
Absolutely. There have been many medical as well as surgical advances in women's health care, so this is a very exciting time. I certainly trained in a time where we used to have to do procedures on patients that would require them to stay in the hospital 3 and 4 days, and now there are lots of medical options for treatment of painful cycles as well as endometriosis and fibroids that are what we consider minimally invasive. But some of the other exciting things that have happened for women is the ability to have access to contraception and long-acting reversible means of contraception that have certainly allowed patients to plan their families better and finish school. And so these are exciting times for women to be, you know, active about their bodies and have some control about the things that they want to do in life. So that's exciting for me.
That's excellent. So are there any tips or advice that you would give to our viewers, especially women, about, you know, sexuality or their, you know, GYN healthcare?
Sure. You know, most people know I'm a talker. I do enjoy my patients in those conversations. So having this conversation with you is lovely today.
Indeed.
But what I
She's
really
my doctor, so I love her.
little disclaimer. But what I really feel that women should do is certainly make a list of the things that are concerning them. Even if your physician might not be the right person to help you with that issue, they may be able to direct you in the right place. And as a gynecologist and an obstetrician, we certainly are the first line for women. And I know that a lot of women would like for me to treat things that maybe might be out of my realm, but I certainly feel like it's important for us to direct you in the right direction. So lists are great. You may see your doctor only once a year, but write those things down, because don't waste that precious time with your provider.
Right, that's great. Good, excellent advice, because a lot of times we do forget over the course of that year. So, and then we get to that appointment, it's like, oh yeah, I forgot, or after we have that appointment. So
Absolutely.
That's a good tip. Excellent. Well, I would like for you to come back.
Sure, Nicole.
Okay.
Anytime for you.
Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
Stay tuned for more conversation.
Conversations with Nicole.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's show. Join us next time for more conversation, where we'll continue to connect the community through conversation. We'll see you next time.
Conversations